Hey there, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm great today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I hear we're going to not only talk to my lovely Eric, I love you so much, but
Mm-hmm.
we are going to also talk to Jay, your twin flame, and the topic is twin flames. So
Yes, it
I'll
is.
just let you guys take the show for now.
Okay. And so Eric starts off with, I love you, Mom. Good morning. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about twin flames today, he says. And so he's been preparing me for this for a while. Um, and so he says, start a little bit telling your story, my story about Jay.
Okay.
When Jay and I when before Jay transitioned, we were really good friends. We hung out on a regular basis. He was a gay male that um, we spent a lot of time together. We were like best friends.
Wait. And his name is spelled differently, isn't it? For the
Yeah,
transitioners, how does it? Jai, right? Or J
Jaii.
I
Yes,
J A I.
right.
All right.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so then in 2008, he moved to Hawaii to a retreat center.
Mhm.
And I didn't hear from him again. Fast forward 2012, he committed suicide. And I really didn't know what it was about. I was initially, when I found out about it, my husband and I were on our way up north. So I tried to pretend like I wasn't so bothered by it because it was our first weekend. Our kids were old enough to leave alone. We were getting away. And so I tried to just not let it bother me. So I just kind of stuffed it for a few weeks. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I really started communicating with him and hearing him. The difference in his death, I asked him right away. I said, I don't know what to think of this, but I feel like I've lost my will to live. I said, I feel like my body is grieving. I don't know what this is. And that's when he told me we were twin flames.
No
And
wonder.
our energies were perfectly synchronized, and that in reality we could never be separated. Well, I didn't really know what a twin flame was. I'd heard all these great love kind of stories, and I actually felt a little deprived then because I didn't get to have that in my life. So anyways, I clearly channeled Jay for 5 months or so, and then he seemed to disappear. I didn't know what had happened. Well, recently I found out it it was because, and I didn't really quite realize this, I was really angry with him for committing suicide because, to me, not for committing suicide, but why did you have to tell me this? What good can I do with this now? I felt like I would have been much better off never even knowing about this, because now I feel this great sense of loss and I can't find you. So I had a lot of anger towards it. So I had another medium, healer friend that I went to, and she helped us to integrate. And since that's happened, my sense of anxiety has gone down. I know he's there. It's like we're in constant communication.
What does that entail, the integration process?
Well, I did not notice much when I was having the session. It was, on a massage table, and it was kind of a hands-on thing. But the first thing I noticed when I left, it was heavy rush hour traffic. She was way across the city. I normally would have a little anxiety driving in that. None, nothing. I was sleeping better. My sense of joy was returning. Things were just working out better. And what she told me is, she said that it would be more like, what I would notice, it would be subtle, and it would be more like things that, oh, this doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I feel better, that type of thing. And so Eric's saying, go back and talk about what actually twin flames are. So we have Prime Source Creator, and in the beginning, Prime Source Creator wanted to experience itself, he's saying. So it's split apart into many, many different aspects and fractals. And so these aspects, each of these individual aspects, are an exact replica, DNA replica of Source. Well, you had this aspect.
Like a hologram. Right.
Right. You had a male counterpart, which is the positive charge, and the negative charge, which is the female counterpart.
Oh, why do we have to be negative? That's no fair.
Well, it's more of a
I'm
fluid
kidding.
motion to get the energy flowing. You need an ebb and a flow.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's not that we're negative beings.
No, I'm
We're
teasing.
the fluid, creative source, and the masculine is the scientific, the intelligent, the grounded, get it done kind of source, the electrical charge. And so in the beginning, historically, it's been that one of the twins incarnates into physical life and the other one stays on the other side as a guide, and they meet up in between lives. And some did come into life together. The reason we can't have a planet, or we couldn't have a planet of everybody being twin flames, is because there is so much power when twin flames are together that the energy of the planet couldn't even handle it. Now we are moving into a time where more people are coming together as twin flames. But he's saying it's not
Together, you mean? Incarnated on Earth together?
incarnating on Earth and then getting together into a physical relationship.
Okay.
And actually what Erik is saying, when two twin flames integrate their energies, that is Christ consciousness. Because that is the whole completion of the two worlds. And you can even have that when both of you are alive and are incarnated.
Wait, I don't understand. Explain Christ consciousness. I've heard that a lot, and I've read definitions, but I'm just not quite sure, and maybe our viewers are not either. So
yeah,
tell me
so
what that is.
Christ consciousness is that level of knowing and doing and being where you just know that you're creative, that you're connected to source, that you are an individual expression of the whole, and that power in that knowledge that he utilized, and he worked with natural laws to make all these things happen, and he was very effective at it.
So you really know that you are one with the collective, i.e., all that is.
Right. Christ knew that he was one, and he knew that he was an individual aspect of that whole.
Oh.
Christ and Mary Magdalene were twin flames.
Oh,
and so that has a lot to do with the miracles Christ and was able to perform, and many of the things he did on the earth, because he was with that twin flame energy.
Yeah. Okay.
And so because you're so closely connected to your original blueprint. So the reason I am able to hear Erik so clearly and do some of the things I do is because of the integration that I have with Jay. I mean, we've been on and off during the years where we've been closer and farther apart, but now we're integrated. We're finally together. Although we're two separate beings, we're one being in the same. I always know he's there. He's always with me. It's a very big comfort.
It's almost like multiple. Is it like multiple personalities, or some people that are diagnosed with DID, multiple personality? Is it just because they're integrated with their twin flame, or?
No, because when somebody's integrated with their twin flame, one of the things they have to go through is they have to raise their own individual vibration to be able to handle that charge. And so somebody who's got like a multi-personality, that's a kind of a disassociative thing. Yeah. Okay. They don't hold enough of their own charge to be able to do that, because first you have to make your own vertical connection with your own pillar of light. And then you see the mirror to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so the other thing Erik is bringing up too, when we've heard stories of like, I always think it's so sweet, but it's kind of sad for the family where you've had an individual where maybe the husband died, say an older couple, and the wife dies a few hours or a few days later.
Yeah, like The Notebook. Oh, I cried.
Yeah. And he says that is often because that they are twin flames, and when one twin flame dies, it is so painful for the other to remain.
I'm wondering if that's the case that what's that? More, I can't remember if there's a medical thing where people actually die of a broken heart.
Yeah. He's saying that a twin flame death can definitely cause that. Yeah. And he's saying the Romeo and Juliet story.
Oh.
That's what that was really about. They couldn't stand to be apart. That love was so intense. And so what he's saying is, Mom, I would like it if you could align with your twin flame.
Okay. Who's my
And he's saying you will be so much clearer and a lot of things are going to make sense. And so he's asking me to ask you, do you have any inkling on who your twin flame might be?
I don't know.
He's saying, okay, and he's telling everybody, you and everybody, you can feel your twin flame's energy, whether they're alive or deceased on the other side, by just putting your hand on your heart and just feeling into it. And he says, just shut your eyes for a minute and ask.
I don't want to say some possibilities because I might hurt other people's feelings.
You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. We'll go on to explain more about this twin flame energy, but who is the first person who comes to mind? Who is that other part of your heart?
Well, I think Erik. And then,
You're right.
oh,
You're
good.
right.
Okay. I always felt some weird connection to, not weird, but this strong connection where I just couldn't stop. When all through his childhood, I couldn't stop staring at him. He's like, Mom, he was just
Yeah.
so beautiful to me.
Yeah. And he said that that's one of the signs you're going to recognize when somebody is your twin flame. There is just this very special connection that you can't quite put your finger on it. I used to tell Jay all the time, I don't know what it is about. I mean, because Jay, well, I was happily married and Jay was a gay male. I knew there was never going to be any relationship, but I had these deep, deep feelings for him that were almost like I'd have for a child or something, and I did not understand what it was. Well, that's what it was. And so Eric's saying when
intimacy, just a feeling of intimacy, but of course it does not have to be sexual or romantic.
right.
It's almost like you want to occupy the same space.
Exactly. And so what Eric's saying, when you are able to completely integrate your energy with mine, and he's kind of telling me that process has already started when he gave you that globe. That was what that was about. That was the start of this process,
And
where
my heart,
where you took it into your heart. And so he says, so what I need to tell you, Mom, is the reason we chose to come into this life and do this and why I transitioned as I did. He says, when twin souls come into life together, it's for a unique purpose. It's not this great love story and romance that everybody wants to think of. You are doing something for the planet, something for humanity.
wow.
And so he says, so for you and I, we had this agreement that at the right time, to help with the ascension of this planet and to help others grow in their spiritual understanding, that I would transition and you would find a way to find your way back to me. He says, we're one continuum, there is no stop and there is no end. We're two separate feet, we're two hearts that beat as one.
Yeah, I mean, that explains why, I know, of course, I've seen parents who are just bereft with grief when they lose a child, but for me, it seemed like it was so unusually a deep grief. Like I did not want to be here anymore. Not
Exactly. And that's why. And he's saying he's so proud of you. You did such a good job. He's saying, I know this was a challenge for you at times, but he says it's gonna get easier. He's telling me you're gonna be a lot in your relationship with him like I am with Jay, where you just know he's there. And you'll learn how to recognize the signs and the little subtleties and see what he's trying to tell you. He's telling me actually your energy has already shifted quite a bit. He's saying there's a sense of peace about you, there's a sense of joyfulness about you. He says you're returning to your own.
That is so true. And I've said that here recently, and I just feel more put together. and more.
You're freezing.
Yeah. Will I be able to channel him better? Uh-oh. Internet
Um,
unstable.
go. Can you go back a little bit because you cut out and
I know.
froze? I didn't hear
Internet,
everything you said.
internet problems. Yeah, I feel more just happier and more at peace and more put together. Does that mean I will be able to channel him better?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And
Awesome.
so what he's saying is it's going to be, a time of learning and growing. And he's telling me too, we're learning from each other because there's things that I do not quite understand about this, and we're going to help each other to understand. And with being able to have you go over to the other side and talk to him, you'll be able to get a lot of clarity about things that I may block because I'm afraid of the pain.
Yeah.
So he's saying that you have just done such a great job, and he is just so impressed. So the other thing, and this is very important, he wants me to tell before I get on to anything else. So once that great love that is God split into all of us individual souls, and we split into the male female counterpart, the soul's arranged into 12 rays or 12 layers. And so each of those layers, and I'm thinking this is something we're going to discover, signifies a different quality or a different attribute it wants to bring through. So each of those layers or those rings around this great central love is a layer of soulmates, one layer, two layers, three layers, going all the way up into 12, each having a specific event. I would like to verify with him when we get over there, but what I'm hearing him tell me is that Jay and I are in the 11th ring, and that you and he are in the 8th ring.
Oh,
And that's why he had to time his death to the number 8. He's telling me he didn't know this consciously, but he had to time it to the number 8 to leave to find the other half of his heart. Although he didn't know this, he was in full alignment with his soul contract and with his mission. And he's telling me to also tell you that song you like, that Rush song that he had his passcode 21, whatever.
yeah.
If anybody wants to go in and listen to that song, it's quite lengthy. It'll demonstrate, they'll be able to tell where the reason why he identified it, it talks about like the high priests and a new planet. And so what he's making me feel like, how we're having this new planet Earth, this 5th dimensional planet Earth,
Yeah.
that's what he and you and Jay and I are working towards. And that he and Jay are on this 5th dimensional planet Earth, and there's going to be a merging of the two worlds, and that's what we are assisting with, that we are bridging the two worlds.
Okay, so where does the 8 come from? Is it adding up the month and the
Wasn't it the time of his death?
maybe I can't
Yeah,
remember.
he's telling me the time of his death was to the number 8. He had to get it to the number 8 to the exact to find. He felt a part of him knew he was on some kind of
Oh
mission.
yeah, I think it was 1206. Was it 1206? Terry told me because I definitely was not in play with the minute we got Maria's call. Yeah, so but I can look that up on the. I kind of don't want to the text.
Yeah, no, you don't really need to do that right now. He's saying, Mom, that's irrelevant. Don't go there. Don't, because he's saying too, when you start looking at that kind of stuff, you can bring your vibration down, and you can just kind of lower your mood and your vibration. So he says, don't even go there. That's just something I just wanted you to know to kind of deepen the understanding.
Yeah. All right. Real quickly before I forget. So it always has to be male, female. You can't have twin flames that are both female or both male.
No, but you could have a twin flame that plays a different role. Like Jay, he was a male, but he carried a heavy feminine vibration. So you can have it something like that. Because there's always going to be one man and one woman. Or you could have two twin flames that maybe incarnate into the same lifetime. and both would be women or both would be men.
And
But that soul, that soul being your imprint, there's a male and there's a female counterpart always.
all right, now what's the difference between that and what's the soulmate, for example? And
Us-
you can have more than one soulmate, right?
right. And your husband's your soulmate, your children's your soulmate, your co-workers your soulmate. Soulmates are people you've agreed to come into this life with who are going to play certain roles for you.
Hmm.
So that's what a soulmate is.
Okay.
And then the other thing that he's telling me to mention too is once you integrate this energy, this twin flame energy, because you are the creator of your reality, and so you integrate this energy and then you just really start feeling this love for yourself even more than you already do. And so since you're the creator of your reality, like you're a projector projecting out what happens, handing other people roles to play in your play, you start handing them out roles that are based on this deep, heavy not heavy, this wonderful twin flame love, this very solid love.
Awesome.
And you
do this, do that, go do that.
yeah. Well, what happens is you start seeing it reflected back to you.
Sure.
Like the things I'll notice, like, my husband and I have always kind of read each other's minds, but since I've integrated the energies of Jay, it's like instant automatic, happens all the time.
Wow.
Don't let me forget to tell you what Erik did last night.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I don't know why that just popped into my head. Oh my gosh.
Sit it there.
I'll just tell you right now. I don't want to get too far off track. I said, Erik, send me some sweet dreams tonight that'll help me for our session tomorrow with your mom. And so he says, use that. I have these pedal tones and ones for working with dreams. And he says, use some of that. That'll help. So I'm grabbing it and I can't find it. And so I have this little light on my nightstand that was not plugged in. So I pick it up, it starts flickering while Erik's talking to me. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a coincidence. So I find my pedal tone, I pick it up and I say, thanks, Erik. In response, that light starts flickering again.
Aww.
I don't know how he does it, but it wasn't like it turned on like a bright light, but it was like there was still some light left in there that wanted to come out. It was so cool.
That is
And so
awesome.
I said, thanks, Erik, and I went to sleep.
Well, what does your husband think about all that?
Oh, he knows. I've been working on my ascension journey for 20 years. It took me a long time. So he's gotten used to it and he knows.
Yeah, okay.
So, and we talk about it all the time. And because I have a son named Erik also, I have to say Erik with the C or Erik with the K. So he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I talk about him so much, with Jay and Erik, sometimes I'm calling them the wrong names.
Uh-oh.
I even called Erik Jack once, which is my dog's.
Uh-oh. Well, he can be a dog sometime.
No. But yeah, so, because they're all just talking to me so fast. So yeah, so that's what he's saying, that, you are his beloved. You are the one. You guys are two. Your souls that is the original blueprint. And so once you guys align your energy and really integrate it, and this process is complete, we'll have to ask him how much of a process this has to be, or maybe it's already done for you. But once this is all complete, everything's just going to fall into place, and you're just going to feel so much clearer and so much better, even better than you already do.
So what do we do to accomplish this?
Well, we're going to ask him. He's telling me I had a hard time with it because I was angry with Jay and I didn't want to feel any more pain.
I don't have any anger.
No, but the other part of it is I did not want to feel the pain anymore.
Oh, sure.
So that was how I blocked it, by being mad at him.
Yeah, well,
So if there's any residual pain in there, that could be something that could prevent it. But he's saying, oh, he's got a new song. When you're supposed to come over and see him, he plays The Doors, Break On Through to the Other Side. So you're supposed to come on over to the other side, and we're gonna stop the recording, or you'll take out the recording and just do the session. and we'll ask him some questions once we get over there. So
Okay.
let me know when you're ready to get
I'm
started.
ready.
And
I'm
oh, so
stop the
hey,
clip.
Lisa, do you have any specific questions you want me to ask him through you once you're there?
I don't know. Why did we decide to be twin flames? I guess it's it's eternal.
Well,
You've always been, and you will always be, right?
right. He's telling me Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. There is no separation.
Yeah,
It's one
right.
continuum.
Circle.
And he says it wasn't so much of a decision. It's just what it was.
Okay.
We are one in that split. We are the exact replica. Our DNA is the exact replica of source, and that combined and integrated, you have an enhanced DNA. Your spiritual DNA is enhanced, and you get back your power, that your original mold, the original blueprint, the things we were originally supposed to have on this planet, which were downplayed and taken away from us, and that type of things.
Yeah.
Because the powers that be did not want us to know how powerful and how creative we were. This is the goddess energy coming back to this planet. He's telling me goddess energy coming back to this planet. And so the powers that be did not want that control. So they started taking out things about women out of the Bible and that kind of thing, and making women look like they were disempowered and that they were less than, so that mankind would not recognize the sacred goddess energy, the sacred goddess energy that can live on this planet.
All right. So one other question: when twin flames integrate, for example, me, will I be able to manifest reality, my like law of attraction type stuff, easier?
He's telling me, yes, it will be easier. And so what he's saying, and I don't know where you are on this process, I think there'll be maybe a little bit of a little bit of growing into it, but there can be, he's saying, like, there can be a little bit of it's kind of like a spiritual grace period, because once we have the ability to, like, it's almost like you can almost create reality instantly. You can almost manifest things instantly. Well, if you're still where you're having maybe some blockages or some issues where you're getting pulled back into lower density reality, he's saying something could happen, like you could be driving in traffic, get mad at someone, call them a name or whatever, you crash into a car because you just lowered your vibration. He said it can happen that quick. So you're given a grace period so you can learn how to shift your thinking and the things you say, because he's saying once
already.
Yeah, because once you achieve this level of clarity and creation, it's about learning how to maintain it and how to stay in it and how not to focus your awareness to the heavier side and get pulled down there. Because then if you focus your awareness on, you create. So if you want to focus your awareness on negative things, he's talking about, like, you could be watching murder mysteries on TV. You're going to lower your vibration. So it's about learning, he's saying it's about standing at 0 point, being in the middle. You know that these murders and awful things happen, but in fifth dimensional reality, that is not your reality, because you are light and love and you are peaceful and you work on yourself. So those kinds of things cannot affect you. And then he says, you take it one step further, you make these YouTube videos and you show, many, many people how to do these types of things as well.
Right. So, Allie O'Shea from expansivesouls.com says that she heard from maybe Abraham Hicks that a thought that lasts for 17 seconds becomes reality. So make sure if you think something for 17 seconds, it's something possible.
Yeah, get your timers out.
Yeah, really. Alexa, set a timer for 17 seconds.
Yeah, the other thing he says too about that, so you could have a thought, just a nonsensical thought. That doesn't have too much charge with it. But if there's a strong emotion behind it, And it doesn't matter if the emotion is I want it or I don't want it. So if you're sitting there focusing on something you don't like say your car is going to break down or something, you can actually create it by focusing on that with a strong emotion.
I think the
If
only
you
oh,
Mhm. If
go ahead.
your heart's in it, if there's heart energy, that's another emotion. Then if you speak it, that's another emotion. So say you just felt this about your car, you would, you thought it, you had an emotion, those are two energies. But now you're speaking it, calling your car a piece of junk or something. Well, you can actually create that situation in your life. So
Sure.
there is this lag time that we get, or pause time, he's calling it, so that we learn how we are creating a reality, and we learn how to focus our energy and how not to say so that we create negativity.
Yeah, I think the
Is
only thing
basically
that
what
I
he
have
said.
a negative thought about, well, it's not so much anymore, but the intense resentment toward what my father did at the end of his life, even worse than all the stuff he's done all through my life. But that, now, how can that manifest into a reality? It won't kill him because he's already dead.
Um,
I
you
mean,
cut out, so I didn't hear the part about what part about your father
oh,
that you're having
what he
trouble
did,
forgiving.
what the I used to, at least, think for long periods of time about my resentment toward what he did to me at the end of his life.
Oh, yes, yes. Eric's saying, Mom, yeah, that absolutely wasn't right.
No, no, but
And
manifest. What kind of reality would that manifest if I thought
oh,
about that in 17 seconds?
well, what Eric's saying is we're going to work on forgiving that so you don't have that resentment, and then you won't
Oh,
manifest any.
I don't have
But
it
you
much
could,
anymore.
I,
I don't
mhm.
really have it much anymore. I'm just wondering
Oh,
if
okay.
it would manifest. Um,
Well, he's saying you would manifest situations. What would be typical is you could manifest situations in your life where other people would come in and take advantage. It was a financial situation, right?
right.
Where other people would come in and take advantage of you financially.
Yeah.
Where it would keep happening
Oh,
until you forgave your father.
yeah.
Right. It would keep patterning over and over until you forgave your patterning.
Yeah, and
And he
it probably could also manifest disease like
it could
arthritis.
manifest disease eventually, because remember, they all start spiritually first, and if that spiritual disruption and energy is not taken care of, it can eventually manifest physically, is what
Wow,
he's
cool. All right, I have one more question before we
saying.
tick me down. Um, Eric, what will happen to you? I mean, it's not all about me. When you and I integrate, what what changes are you going to experience, if any?
And he's saying that's something um he can probably get better clarity from the other side. But what he because I wondered about that myself with Jay too. um so what he's saying, he still exists, he's still separate but together from you. And
Hmm.
so what he's saying is it's actually going to make him more powerful and stronger, because with your energies integrated and working together, he really is in a better position to create heaven on earth, which
Oh,
is
awesome.
basically what he's trying to do. So he's not going to absorb into you and disappear. One of the things I noticed with Jay is sometimes and other people have heard this too, when I'm channeling, they'll hear a male voice kind of, but not quite in sync, where they'll hear me talk and he's right behind me. And they can subtly hear this male voice through the whole conversation, usually when I'm playing bowls.
Hmm.
Well, since this has happened, so it was like our energies or our voices like this. Since this has happened, our energies have synchronized, and
Oh,
when we speak in harmony. There's no longer any lag time.
so
So
cool.
it's like I know he said I will have he said for one, he'll have comfort in knowing that you know he's always there,
Mhm.
and he will be more effective, is what he's saying.
I'm so proud of you, Eric. All right, let's do this thing. I'm ready.
Okay, so let's get you comfortable. And I have everything
last
out
night,
here.
last night at midnight, I did what my hairdresser told me never to do.
What'd you do?
I just like clipped.
Oh, I've
Clean.
learned my lesson on that one.
Oh my God, I am a slow learner. But anyway, I like it a little shorter here because otherwise it just was like, I don't know, a helmet. But the last time I did it, I actually had a hole in my hair. It was
Oh no. I'll have to tell you about the one time with the bleach and the hair dye. That was a mistake
oh
for me.
God.
But we'll go into that at another time. So,
Okay.
all right. So, I think this is a little too bright. Okay. So let's have you just take a nice deep breath in.
Now
And
this is where I'm going to cut it right here.
And notice in the distance a small bridge covering a stream. And as you focus your awareness here, notice that the colors are more vivid, the flowers and plants are more alive and have a tangible intelligence. Intrigued, you walk towards it. Your spirit guide appears and asks if you are ready to cross the bridge into fifth dimensional reality or higher. They go on to explain that you must quiet your ego to hear the voice of spirit. And taking this journey activates spiritual DNA. You readily agree and walk across the bridge into the fifth dimension. And you notice a clearing with a marble bench, and you walk towards it and take a seat. And let me know when you have that image. And once again, we are going to invite all of the people you have ever interacted with to join you here, those living and those that have transitioned. Many come forward to help you celebrate. You and Erik celebrate this special moment. I can tell there's a feeling of excitement in the air. And now ask Erik to step forward and join you on your bench. And let me know when he's there with you. Okay. All right. So now, Elisa, why don't you spend a little bit of time just kind of spending some time with Erik, and you go ahead and let him work on your energy body or anything he's got to do for a few minutes while I play bowls. Or if you have any questions. Let me know when you feel like you're done communicating with them, and we'll move on to the next part of this. You're going to be there for a while though yet, so don't worry, I'm not crossing you over.
Okay.
So now, one of the things that's coming through to have you do is I'd like you to imagine that you're standing up and allow your spiritual body just to be like a tube and to fill with light and love from head to toe, and let me know when that feels complete. Okay. And now Erik stands up also his body filling with love and light, as if he's a tube of love also, for lack of a better term. Now when you have that image, two, it'll look like an 11, two vertical pillar of lights, let me know. Okay. Now ask him to join your pillar of light and some kind of integration is going to take place as he does this. So let me know when that feels complete. Erik, a few questions through Elisa. And so one of the questions Elisa had, and I answered as best as I understood, is as this process of integration takes place for her, how different, Erik? First, start with yourself. Can you have your mom explain to us how you will be different?
Yeah, he'll be stronger and able to do his light worker duties.
His light worker duties. Yeah, so I had it right. It was as I said. Okay. How will your mom's energy change?
She'll be stronger, happier.
Will she learn to create her reality and really be more powerful in that as time goes on?
Yes, and be able to communicate with not just him but others too.
Good.
This side and on the other side. This side, my side, says Erik, and mom's side. What else, Erik? We'll need that glass of wine every night.
No, that was the other. Why I never was a glass of wine drinker, but that was the other thing I noticed. I was so much calmer and relaxed. Actually, I just want to tell you, I don't come out of hypnosis, but that first night I got into bed after this happened for me, I felt comfortable in my skin for the first time, not even knowing that I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. Okay, and so for your mom, what I want to know is, it took me a while. I had difficulty with this because I resisted. How is it going to be different for your mom? Is the integration complete, or is this something she's going to be learning? And I'm sensing that the integration is complete, but it's going to take a little time to learn and grow into it. Is that correct? Am I perceiving the information correctly?
He's nodding his head. Yes.
So that's correct. Okay. And I'm sure you'll guide us along the way as you always do. Okay. Is is there anything, Eric, and then I do have a question about something, but is there anything that you would like your mom or I to know, audience? Or I'm sorry, not about the viewing audience. Your mom or I or the viewing audience, is there anything that you would like any of us to know about twin flame energy that I haven't covered?
Does everyone have one? Erik?
What is he saying?
No.
No. Some choose, is it that they don't have one, or there was never a split after that moment in creation?
The split.
So some remained whole, some didn't separate into a male and female counterpart?
Yeah.
What do those individuals do? Are they just always in alignment? Is it like the ones that split apart to find each other, and the ones that didn't have a twin flame are always whole? Is that how it is?
I think so, but I'm not sure. We can maybe.
Yeah, we can go into that another time because that's getting a little too complicated.
Because I don't know if that's coming from me or him.
Yeah,
Also,
because I was under the impression that everybody did. So we'll go over that another time because I definitely could be wrong. Okay, so now I have another question, Eric, and this isn't about the twin flames. What I want to know is, because your voice is showing up on when we're recording sometimes, and sometimes I hear a voice superimposed over mine as I'm channeling, when I'm doing a channeling Erik session. Am I hearing your voice sometimes and sometimes Jay? Is that accurate?
he shakes his head.
And how is it that you're able?
He says yes.
Yes, okay. So how is it that you're able to have your voice show up on our recording? I know it happens sometimes with other mediums as well. My thinking was that it has something to do with the bowls, that they bridge the world and you're able to come through, or is it that the medium themselves holds a space for you to be able to do that and makes your energy stronger? Can you give us clarity?
No, he says everything's energy, and so it's really easy to fuck with electricity and change it, including sound waves.
Including sound waves, okay. So the bowls, I'm trying to find the purpose in the bowls. Do they make it easier for that to happen? Do they like hold the space and it's easier for your voice to come through?
It just changes the vibration of the environment to make it easier for him.
Changes the vibration of the environment to make it easier. That's what I thought. Okay. And so, Lisa, do you have any other?
Yeah.
Erik?
Does Terry have a twin flame, Erik? My sister, Aunt Terry. Your Aunt Terry. I don't know. He's just staring at me, so I don't know. We can ask that after I come out.
Yeah, sometimes this is what he's making me feel like. I suspected when Jay was alive, I suspected he was my twin flame, and I was working with a very talented, very good psychic medium. I asked her and she got no. Well, the reason was because Jay wanted to tell me that himself. We had that planned before we came into this incarnation. So it could be very possible that that's something your sister will find on her own and that he doesn't want to take away her surprise.
Okay. Well, I'm just getting the image of her daughter, Yona.
You're getting the image of her daughter?
Fiona.
Hmm.
Maybe we can ask after I come out.
So, Erik, I have another question. So, as I explained earlier, you had a little bit of trouble convincing me to bring this message through because I was on twin flames never came through a parent, that it was never a child-parent relationship with the twin flame. So apparently this is somewhat unusual. Is that correct?
He just shrugs his shoulders. I don't know what that means.
He's not sure. Okay. Or maybe not that it's not sure. Maybe that it just doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
What the reason what
Yeah. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you think you're ready to ask Erik if there's anything he would like to send back with you? Any piece of knowledge, any information?
Okay. Yeah. He's putting a big thing of ball of light into my forehead. I don't know what it is though.
Into your forehead. He must be doing something to enhance your third eye. Okay. And I have one final question. What are some of the first things your mom should start noticing in her connection with you? Should she start noticing the song connection, or will she see you or hear you or dream of you or feel you? What should she look for or notice?
He's taking all those things as images and grabbing them and collecting them together, like all of it.
Okay. And yeah, he's told me this, and he's reminding me of it now, that it would be beneficial for us to have a session where we just talk about ways to connect with spirit and ways to connect with him, because he has very unique ways of coming through and letting you know what he's trying to say.
He's nodding his head. He's real excited.
Huh?
Nodding his head, real excited. He seems real excited.
Yeah. There's several ways that he comes through. I guess today, before I merge you, maybe we'll talk about the song. So somehow both he and Jay are able to do this. They are able to, they either will inspire me to turn on the radio at just the right moment, and it'll be some love song or something that just sends chills down my spine. When that happens, know that's Erik impulsing you. So that's one thing. When you have a song running through your mind, that could also be another sign that's him. Like once he was going to be working with me with a client, and he kept playing the Titanic theme song over and over in my mind. He wouldn't give up. Well, he was trying to tell me I have an angel encounter theme, and he was going with the in the arms of an angel, and that's what I was to do with this client. That's what he needed. So that's one of the ways they work together.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have you start watching for that. We'll take one thing at a time to focus on, he's kind of telling me, so we don't overwhelm you so much. Is that correct, Erik?
Yeah, he says.
Okay. All right, Elisa, are you ready to come on back over and bring your newfound knowledge and DNA activation with you, and a little bit bigger of a piece of your son?
Yeah, I want one more hug.
You can stay as long as you want. You want to just do what you got to do and tell me when you're ready? Okay. And he's saying, Mom, this isn't goodbye. We'll be seeing a lot of each other. Okay. So go ahead and rise from where you're sitting and walk over to the bridge, and bringing with you all of your energy, all of your power, and all of the insights you gain. And once you cross the bridge back into the third dimension, drop an anchor into the ground, anchoring your new picture of reality where you just know Erik is with you every second of every day. And when you're ready, just bring your awareness back into your physical body. You can go ahead and wiggle your toes, your fingers, just kind of feel the sensations of your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Oh, boy, that was cool.
Yeah, so were you completely surprised? Did you have any inkling that's what this was going to be about?
No, but I
No.
tell you, it was really hard for me to merge the 11 for a while. It took me a while
Uh-huh.
for some reason.
Yeah, maybe it was a little fear that you wouldn't recognize them as well when
Yeah.
you came together like that.
Yeah.
But in reality, actually, you'll recognize them easier. And he's telling me to tell you the other thing is, it's easier for twin flames to be connected and hear each other and communicate when one is on the other side and one is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And actually, the night that I found out about Jay and he communicated with me, Christ himself came through. And he told me that as well. He told me that it would be much easier to stay connected.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Oh.
he said, I know this is very hard right now, but I'm telling you, this is going to be easier.
Oh, no, it's not hard. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just gonna.
Well, no, this is for me. This is what Christ told me right after Jay had
Okay.
died because I was
Because you were so
grieving.
angry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
I was grieving at the time. Right,
Mm.
right. Yeah, yeah. So,
That
any
is so
questions now
cool.
that you're
I'm going to take some time to digest all this, to think about it, to really be aware, mindful of my thoughts and so on. But can you ask Erik? Erik, does maybe I'm blocking because I don't want to make a mistake with my sister. Maybe that's why. But does Aunt Terry have a twin flame?
I'm getting a yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I got yes. And you know what? Once we're more used to this, we'll get more clarity on him
Oh, yeah.
about this. Because I honestly, and I could be wrong, but I honestly believe that everybody had a twin flame.
Well,
Not
that could be
everybody
me
comes.
talking too. That might be. Well, let's ask him, Erik. Does everybody have a twin flame? Did I just mess up over there? Because I felt like I didn't really know whether it was me or him.
He's
On
saying
cover.
everybody was created with a twin that way, but not everybody chooses to experience a lifetime with that twin flame energy.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's telling me.
That's why I felt a little
So,
confused about that answer.
right.
So, who was Terry's twin flame?
He said that's for her to discover.
All right.
Yeah. She'll that's for her to discover.
Okay.
Thing you wouldn't want to. A person wouldn't want to know about it till it was time, because what would happen is, say Erik wasn't your son and say you were two individuals that met in this lifetime. When you had all those issues around your father, being he was your twin, he would have had to play those out.
Oh, okay.
So he would not have been to play the contract you had, he'd have had to be jerkish.
Oh,
because that is your picture of reality. That's what you had.
Okay.
So it would not have worked for you guys to be like a couple in this lifetime.
Okay.
And there was a reason you chose to come into the lifetime you did and have this experience. And it's about, like I said, the new earth, the fifth dimensional earth, and the ascension of this planet. And it's planetary and it's very, very big.
Oh, that's great. And Terry just texted me. All right. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you,
Okay.
Eric. I love
I
you.
love you. Stay on the line. I have one quick question.
Okay. And you guys get in touch with her at embody-light.com.
Life.com. Correct.
I won't
Yeah.
forget that dash, I promise.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to end the recording.
Eric says, love you.
Bye.